So this van has been my home for the past 5 years and I wanted to give you guys a tour. I feel like there's so many van tours out there that are freshly built, they're immaculate and no one's ever lived in them. So I wanted to give you a new perspective and a very real version of a van tour. So welcome to Ronnie. This is a 2013 Renault Master long wheelbase high roof. He's my sanctuary, my home, my office, my adventure buddy, all of those things for about 5 years now, and pretty much full time. On the sliding door, I have a heavily tinted window with an opening section that has a Firewire, which is so good for ventilation. So wow, the birds are really having a good morning. So in the entranceway, I have this little nook, which is pretty much just shoe storage and a little brush thing for the floor. And then I have my plants. This is the first time I've ever had flowers at my doorway, but I kind of love it. And then in this drawer I have my induction cooktop. And then this one is the utensils drawer with a chopping board that sits on top. Then I have this towel rack that is kind of broken, but it works for what I need, which is so helpful. I always have something on here. This next bit is honestly one of my favourite features of the van. I might say that a few times, but it's a 75 litre Kickars dual zone. So this side is my fridge and then this side is my freezer. And honestly, having a freezer in a van is just a game changer. Under the cooktop and the utensils drawer, I've got these big cupboards which are the same as food. I just have them in there in little tubs and sealed tubs because mice. I also have my toaster that lives in here in a little tray so that the crumbs don't go everywhere. And then on the other side is a bit embarrassing, but it's just like bags, camera gear, toiletries, kind of just whatever random big awkward things. And then on this side, underneath the fridge, so the fridge finishes here, and then under here I just have heaps of pots and pans. And then I have a little safe tucked right in the back corner. It's kind of hard to get at, but that's the point. Then I also have, this is actually a good note, I have so many of these, which this one's actually super full. These are moisture absorbers and mold is very bad for you. So just make sure you're onto these. Okay, another favourite feature of my van is this wall. I don't know how to explain it, but it's really cool. And it's on a remote control switch, so hit the switch to make it go up and down. And then on the back is black carpet, and it's a solid wooden frame, so no light or anything gets through, and it's also super stealth because it just looks like a tradie van from the other side. And then on this side there's a mirror. Above the screen is so much storage. It's mostly just towels, blankets, and things that I don't use super often or seasonal things. There's also a bunch of triathlon gear that I obviously don't use every day. And then there's a few going out dresses that I sometimes dig out. Then I also keep my window covering up here as well. These are great. They have magnets and an insulated part, and then on the outside they have dark fabric, so it makes your van super stealth. And yeah, these ones I actually got made by Built for Adventure. These are pretty much just my daytime curtains for privacy. And then on this side, underneath the sink, I have more food storage and an air fryer that I use pretty much every day. And then these drawers, just big lift out drawers, and yeah, heaps of jars. Cutlery also lives here. And then on this side I have my bin, which is just a dry sack with a plastic bag in it, which actually works so well because when you need more space you just empty the bin. So underneath the sink I have I think it's a 5 litre grey water tank that is on a switch, but I've honestly never used it. All my water just goes onto the ground. I just make sure I'm parked on grass or land that will absorb the water. And tucked right in the back here, I have a house water filter, which is honestly really good as well. And yeah, I only have cold water. Underneath, I just have storage, this basket of detergents and, first aid stuff. And then this is also the end of my surfboard. So I'll show you the back later, but this is where it comes through to. This is also probably too much information, but whatever. This is my pee funnel. So it's a Shewee attached to a piece of tube that also goes through to the floor. It's honestly been so great, especially for safety as well. It's just like the guys weeing on the grass. And then while we're here, this is my laundry chute. And it's connected to a similar basket like this. And this is also where I keep the yoga blocks that support my bed extension. Above the fridge bench top, I have all these overhead cabinets. This one, things might fall out when I open it, but it's the container cupboard. And then this side is plates and bowls, mugs, NutriBullet, and an extra chopping board, that kind of thing. And then I also have a hat rack up here, which is super simple. Just some little bungee cords and some eyelets. So super simple. Is herbs and spices, a fruit net kind of thing. And then I also store my tea towels up there because it kind of protects the fruit as well. Is toiletries and tissues and random other things. And then I should also point out I put these little bungee cords on because sometimes if I'm driving on really rough roads or I have to put the brakes on really hard, these doors will sometimes open. So I put these on just as kind of a safety net and nothing falls out anymore. The speakers that are mounted, so I have 4 of them and they're all connected to the Bluetooth speaker. So I just have it constantly on the music setting, but you can also make calls, do all that kind of thing from this as well. So sometimes hook up my laptop and then I can have surround sound to watch a movie and that kind of thing. And then this is also where I can live view the security cameras that are mounted on the roof. So I have 4 of them. 3 of them are only working at the moment, and apparently a bird has on the windscreen, so you can't really see through this one. Next to the sink I have these little shelves, and they actually have grow lights mounted underneath each spot, and I often grow sprouts in there. This shelf is just always changing with random things that I find, get given, or little Polaroids, trinkety things, memories. I also have these little hooks underneath. I hang like dish sponges and that kind of thing because it drips straight into the sink, which is perfect. Less mess. And then with the sink I have a, 2-way tap. Yeah, one side is just regular water and then the other side is the side that goes through the filter. I don't have it turned on at the moment because I've almost run out of water. In this little nook is all the switches. So I have 2 240 volt power points, 2 USB points, and the inverter switch is in there. And then these lines of switches are for all sorts of things, like the water pump, the Bluetooth screen, the security cameras, the lights as well. And there's also a couple of blank switches. I didn't end up using them all. And then lots of things end up in here, mostly just leads that I use all the time. And then in this one unit is my officey stuff and my socks and undies, that kind of thing. I know I've said it a few times already, but this is another favourite feature of mine. It's my massive desk. So this desk is 1.2 meters long. So I can have computer stuff, I can have like lunch, and then I can have jewelry stuff. It's on super heavy locking drawer slides and has this bar that's connected so you can just open it with one hand. It also doubles as a dining table. I've had 5 people around this. One night when it was really cold, I invited my friends over for dinner. So this seat is kind of 1.5, 2 people if it's cozy. And then I have this extension as well, which I can fit the other piece of couch and I can have 2 people with plenty of eating space. And then this spot is also really good to sit and face that way, so you can see the view. This box here, Dad made mostly just for my market display, but I use it as kind of a lounge suite and as a second chair. It has so many uses, so it's actually Worked super well. It's not super pretty, but it's very effective. So I can sit in like lounge mode, I can sit be in work mode, dining table mode, and then I also use these as my bed extension. Now onto the bedroom kind of area. So I have a fixed bed, the width of a double, and with the extension it comes to the length of a double as well. So I'm going to show you how I set up the bed. And I don't usually do this because I'm just one person and my feet take up like this much space. But I do have another side, so I'll set it fully up this time. So the fitted sheet keeps it nice and tight, and then I just pull over everything else. And now I have a full length double bed in the sun, wherever I want it to be. This is one of the main reasons why I added the super heavy duty drawer slides, because it means that you can put body weight on the desk, which is essentially the bed extension. And then to back it up, it's literally just the opposite. There we have it. This is my bedroom wardrobe, and honestly I have too much space for one person, but I have filled it. The same size overheads as the kitchen area. One side I have more of summer stuff, and then the other side is more winter stuff. And this little like side table area is the half worn, not dirty, not clean clothes. And then this other side is more like jackets and that kind of thing. I kind of always have like my laptop and my diary in this area. I have this massive bookshelf, and then in here I have another nook similar to the sink one with lots of more switches, a couple of 240 plugs, USB ports, and there's lights all under here which are connected to the same dimmer as the front ones. And I also have my electric blanket which is permanently plugged in, and yeah, because I have a really good battery system, I can run things like the air fryer, the electric blanket, toaster, all those just the house things. People constantly ask me about the roof. So it's just super thin ply with wallpaper over the top. Super cheap, super simple, and then it also has insulation between them. Then on all through the roof I have these lights which are super bright, and I wish I put them on a dimmer. And then I also have a roof fan which opens and sucks out all the hot air or sucks cold air in. Okay, now welcome to the garage part of running. I have these insulated window coverings that I made on the back. They're not as good because they don't fold up, but they do the trick and they keep out so much heat. Starting on this side, this is a hose to fill up my water tank, and then I have an outdoor shower as well, which there's a tiny bit of water left. I need to fill up the tank today. Tap here for the outdoor shower. So I have a 95 litre Atlas tank, which lasts me about 10 days if I'm not using the shower much. The water filter is mounted up here, and a fire extinguisher acts as a drying rack as well, which I always use for my wetsuit, and then I drip it into the tub, which works super well. And it was kind of just a random thought I had one day that worked. Two massive drawers. Most of this garage space is for my market gear. This one is market display boards. These are the market tables, a yoga mat, a chair, some of my jewellery tools. We have a big toolbox up the back there. Then I have a basketball, skateboard, and then I also have a fold-up trolley for when I have to cart my market stuff. And then in this drawer, it's a mess. It's all my tools for repairing things. When you're living on the road, you have to learn how to be a plumber, an electrician, a decorator, a painter, and like everything. Then on this side, I have my surfboard, and I can fit up to a 7 foot. This is a 6'6", and it fits in there perfectly with my gazebo, which is full of Marcus as well. But yeah, this space is huge, and I've had all sorts of variations of things in here. I had a mountain bike in here at one point. I've had 2 shorter boards, but pretty much all the time I have my 6'6", and then a gazebo for all my markets. Then there's the 2 speakers are up here too, and I sit on the doors. Oh yeah, and then behind all this stuff, there's a little fold down wall, which is where all my batteries, the inverter and everything is. Want to come have a look? This is my battery that I pretty much live off. This is my DC-DC, so that charges from the alternator when the car's running. That's the kill switch for if anything happens. Thermometer gauge. There's more fuses here. This is the charge controller. Then in there, there's all the 240 switches. This is the cab. It's super boring. Lots of random things get chucked in the passenger seat. Now I'm going to give you all the stats for the battery system. So if this is boring to you, just fast forward to here. A 240 lithium battery from iTech World, and I replaced that about a year and a half ago. And ever since then, I literally never run my battery flat, and I use so many appliances. So I can't recommend that enough, and it's honestly perfect for this size. It's powered by solar panels that are on the roof, and I have 440 watts in total. So as long as I park in the sun every few days, then it's sweet. And then I also have a DC-DC charger, which is by Renogy. And then I have an inverter, which is a 5,600 watt inverter. And I think that's all the stats. Put them all here. Thanks for coming along for the journey, guys. I hope you enjoyed this more real lived-in van tour, and I hope I've inspired all the girls out there to go and live in a van and travel and explore and learn and do all the things that you've ever dreamed of. I'm going to leave this here. This is probably going to be one of my first YouTube videos, so if you like it, please help me out. I hope the birds weren't too noisy, and yeah, thank you. And come along, join the journey, because it's a wild one.